Terence Crawford showed off his new physique in preparation for his upcoming super middleweight division debut versus Canelo Alvarez. Now, World Boxing News reported that Crawford still currently weighs 185 pounds, which is 17 pounds more than the 168-pound limit. However, according to Snack CEO Victor Conti, people need to chill and stop being too nosy about this whole thing because first and foremost, we're still 6 weeks away from fight night, implying that there's still plenty of time to meet the required weight.
What I have to say to Canelo is this. You proved yourself already. You proved yourself. You fought a lot of great fighters. You tested yourself. You went up in weight to numerous weight classes. Like myself and like other fighters throughout the years. Same thing with Pacquiao. You know, Canelo is a great fighter. Canelo is a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking the same.
His next fight coming up is going to be with...
It's a lot of wear and tear. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah. And those guys are younger.
Yeah.
And hungrier.
Boxing is a lot of wear and tear. You can get old overnight. You can. It's how boxing is.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has never been one to keep his thoughts to himself. Additionally, the former world champion made some audacious remarks that have undoubtedly drawn attention ahead of the impending mega fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez.
Do you feel that Terence has a shot in beating Canelo Alvarez?
That's the million-dollar question. When I watched Terence Crawford get rattled and rocked by Yorkis Gamboa, who's a natural 30-pounder, that to me is going to be a huge problem when he gets hit by Canelo. So he fights at 175. He's fighting these big monsters. Yeah. He's not getting rattled at all. Berlanga's a big kid. So it makes me think, I mean, how is Crawford going to keep him away for 12 rounds? Canelo's going to come at him hard. But then again, I think about Crawford's abilities and his IQ and his footwork, which Canelo cannot handle. And we know that for a fact. It happened with Bivol, it happened with Mayweather, who schooled him left and right with no problem. And Canelo was way stronger than Mayweather. So there's
Don't you
a lot
think
of...
Canelo's a better fighter than he was then, today?
A better fighter, yeah, a little better. Yeah, his footwork is still the same. He's flat-footed, he's very heavy on his feet.
Obviously, Canelo has the power to hurt him.
In this game, power means a lot. If you can't keep your guy off you, or you don't know how because it's too much pressure, and the one thing about Crawford is that he knows how to handle the pressure. He's a savvy boxer, you know? And he doesn't run, and he has that heart. He's a dog, he has that heart. You wanna fight me, I'm gonna fight you.
The undisputed super middleweight title will be up for grabs in an exciting bout scheduled for September 13th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. The unbeaten Omaha fighter Terence Crawford, who is moving up 2 weight classes to take on the Mexican juggernaut, will challenge Canelo Alvarez, the current champion, for the title. Despite the fact that both fighters have uncontested titles in their respective classes, Crawford, who will be fighting super middleweight for the first time in his career, has specific difficulties.
We was at your place around the same.
Maybe he's a little overrated. Terence Crawford versus Canelo, 68 pounds.
Canelo's really good, but I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient, and I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous, but could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from.
Canelo, a 2-time undisputed champion at 168 pounds, enters a bout fresh off a victory over former IBF champion William Skull. His title as the first boxer to hold undisputed status at this weight was solidified earlier this year with his victory in Riyadh. However, Crawford has dominated at welterweight, most notably in his historic victory over Errol Spence Jr., which became him the first undisputed champion in the history of the 4 belts. But this is a massive step up in competition for Crawford, who hasn't previously faced a boxer as strong and large as Canelo.
Sport.
I think Terence Crawford right now in the sport of boxing is the pound for pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now.
How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing, and
He said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terence. But I think he should be in the book for
Really? Is that good?
how to learn boxing. You know.
Really?
For me, pound for pound, number one is Terence Crawford. I like this man. It's a great fighter.
I think it's Crawford first.
The retired legend Mayweather, who notably gave Canelo his first loss in 2013, has been vocal about his emotions for both combatants. Despite the high atmosphere surrounding the contest at the time, Mayweather did not hold back while discussing his previous fight with Canelo, calling it an easy one. Mayweather asserted it was a cakewalk, that the man was nothing. He even implied that, despite being close to 40 years old, he was still able to defeat Canelo, suggesting that the Mexican fighter's skill set was not as impressive as it is sometimes depicted.
Before I let you go, I do need to get your opinion on Canelo Crawford. How do you think that fight plays out?
It's a difficult fight. You know, Crawford, he has the skills to box and stay on the outside, but Canelo has the power, the size advantage, so it's a very difficult fight to call. I know Crawford will have to box a perfect fight for 12 rounds. Canelo can change the fight with one punch, so it's a very difficult fight. I've been saying that I favor Crawford. People don't like it, but it is what it is. I would favor Crawford in this fight.
Mayweather, on the other hand, acknowledged his respect for Crawford and acknowledged the unbeaten American as the sport's top contender right now. Given that Mayweather ranks Crawford as the best boxer of our time, above even Canelo, this accolade places Crawford in a unique position. Crawford is a legendary figure in the sport thanks to his accomplishments, which include his undefeated record and previous victories over elite opponents.
He sees it as a very interesting 50-50 fight. He feels like Canelo's very strong right now, and he wants to figure out to see how Crawford's going to handle the power, especially in the early rounds, and what's going to happen. So yeah, he said he remembers fighting Canelo back 14 years ago it is now, and he said he remembers he uses legs real good, and as long as Crawford uses his legs and he doesn't let Canelo just hit him in the arms and beat him up in the arms, he has a very good chance.
But it won't be a simple battle for Crawford. Numerous commentators, including other fighters, have offered their opinions on how the two boxers' distinct skill sets might be used. Despite the obstacles presented by Canelo's stature and strength, one such person is Jesabam Rodriguez, a rising star in the sport who has stated his conviction that Crawford has what it takes to prevail. It is difficult to forecast a fight because of Canelo's ability to turn it on its head with a single blow. Rodriguez boldly declared that he prefers Crawford in this fight, citing the American's greater boxing IQ and technical prowess, despite some criticism from fans.
One more thing. It don't matter if Canelo is on that. He ain't beat no Terence Crawford. You heard it here first. Plus, I look at the performances of Canelo. I look at his last performances. I mean, they've been all right, you know. They ain't been like, wow, blew me away. So I'm not really worried about all of that. And the same thing goes with Crawford. I know he's with Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean. I think it's a conflict of interest, the fact that, hey, he knows how to beat the system, quote unquote, Victor Conte, but at the same time, I think Snack, you got products going around the world, this and that. I mean, all these athletes are testing. They're not testing anything or positive by using Snack at all. So I think they're safe. There's no doubt about it. So with that being said, I'm not worried about that. As long as they're testing, I'm good.
A lot of focus is on how Crawford, who has performed well at welterweight, will fare against a boxer who has fought primarily at the super middleweight level. The bout is expected to be an exciting collision of styles. One important consideration might be the disparity in size between the two. Few fighters are able to advance 2 weight classes to face a fighter as skilled as Canelo, as many have pointed out. Aries Landy Lara, who has previously battled Canelo, also brought up this matter. Although Lara and Canelo's match finished in a fiercely contested split decision defeat, he thinks Crawford's best opportunity will be to keep moving with his legs in order to evade Canelo's strength in the beginning of the bout. Lara believes Crawford has a chance to win if he can prevent the fight from degenerating into a physical brawl.
You got a love for boxing.
Yeah, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
Always prepared.
He's always ready. He's always
that.
prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's going to.
Liam Smith, another former Canelo opponent, offered his thoughts on the Mexican's punching power as many experts speculated about how the fight might go. Smith has been struck by Canelo during sparring sessions, but he surprisingly downplayed the power, claiming that he has been hit harder in training than by Canelo. But Smith stressed that Canelo's defensive prowess, not only his strength, is what makes him dangerous. Canelo's power was acceptable, he claimed. The typical man asked me that question on the street, and I said, no, not at all, as he was clearly, but I've been sparring off people and being struck harder. It was more about his skill. I was twitching from him. His easygoing demeanor and loose shoulders made me feel faint. Tim Bradley, a former world champion, has a radically different perspective on the matter in spite of Smith's observations. Bradley, who is also picking Crawford to win, has expressed doubt about Canelo's recent play, especially in his most recent appearances. He suggested that Canelo's finest days might be over by pointing to Alvarez's lackluster performances against opponents like William Skull. Bradley, who is renowned for his astute boxing analysis, thinks Crawford will win this fight because of Canelo's difficulties against quicker, more elusive opponents. Bradley confidently declared that Crawford's superior talents will guarantee him a resounding victory, regardless of Canelo's strategy or conditioning.
He is past his best. He's had over 65. Made a fortune. Why do you even still fight? But this is a super fight against Crawford. Yeah, it could go wrong for him. He could end up losing. Whoever loses, it'll be an upset because the amount of people that think Crawford's going to win. Crawford's certainly an unbelievable bad boy fighter, proper good fighter. Then you've got Canelo who just understands the game.
Stephen A. Smith, another well-known member of the boxing fraternity, also offered commentary on the bout. According to Smith, a well-known sports analyst, Crawford would defeat Canelo via decision after outboxing him for the full 12 rounds. Smith maintained that Crawford would have the advantage due to his mobility, technical accuracy, and capacity to adjust between orthodox and southpaw stances, even though he recognized Canelo's remarkable strength and tenacity. He believes that Canelo's lead on power punches may prove to be his undoing, particularly if he finds it difficult to deliver clean shots on quick-footed Crawford.
That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well his body, his speed, and his power, because he's moving up to another level of weight.
I asked this because you did it with Margarito. You went to 54, and people were like, "Oh my God, this guy's so big, Margarito!" But your speed made the difference in that fight. But what advice would you give a smaller guy like Crawford to fight someone like Canelo, who's a lot bigger and stronger?
You know, preparing like that opponents, like it's not only the speed, but you know the techniques that you can use in the fight. Like make sure that in your daily routine, training routine, like that, make sure that all the techniques, strategy, combination, like you know, it's accurate to your opponent's style. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you have a exam, a math exam tomorrow, you have to review right now a math subject. You don't need to review English subject or a science subject. You have to review math subject because tomorrow you're going to have a exam. You're going to exam a math subject.
That's a hard exam.
The legendary Manny Pacquiao has also placed his support behind Canelo. Although Pacquiao, who has experienced fighting top boxers and switching weight classes, didn't provide much commentary, he boldly stated that he supported the Mexican boxer. Given his own remarkable accomplishments in a variety of weight classes, Pacquiao's support is quite believable and solidifies Canelo's position as a favorite in many quarters.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. I wouldn't be surprised. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I think Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make one.
The predictions and conjecture are only getting more intense as the battle gets near. Both boxing experts and fans are excited to watch how this bout plays out, with each fighter contributing special qualities. Will Canelo's size and strength be overcome by Crawford's ability and speed? Or will the smaller man be unable to cope with Canelo's strength and experience? There's no denying that Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford on September 13th is expected to be one of the most anticipated fights in recent memory, and the boxing community will be eagerly observing to determine who emerges victorious.